Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Code Realize, Guardian of Rebirth. We are on Lupin's trail, and we just finally learned about his past in the last episode. We should be going into the cathedral soon, and hopefully iron things out for Guardia. So, you can just sit back, relax, and let me read you a story. Then, before dawn breaks, the preparations for battle begin under Victoria's command. This means she got her forces ready to attack within 24 hours of escaping the rebels' raid on Buckingham Palace.
Although it may not be one of us paying the price, be prepared to see many lives sacrificed in the course of this battle. As Lupin said, those who don't want to face death should stay behind.
Van Helsing looks around sharply at those of us who have gathered in front of him. I'm going. I have to keep moving forward. Any doubt I had about whether or not I'm a monster have disappeared. Lupin loves me. I love Lupin. That's all I need to know.
There's no turning back now. I won't run away ever again. This battle is to decide the future of Britain. Honestly, I'm not interested at all. But Cardia, she might be saved. There's no way I'll sit this one out. I'll stick around to the end as well, in order to see this thing through. Let's get going then. Deli, take care of Cece while we're gone, alright?
I'm coming too. We're all taken aback by this. He falls silent with a serious expression.
Why? A battle between humans should be of no concern to you.
I know. I have no interest in human wars. They can quarrel amongst themselves all they want. But if this fight drags on, there will be more victims, won't there? I can't stand by and do nothing. Those with power have the responsibility of using that power for good. Deli says this quietly and with determination. Whether vampires or human, it would be wrong not to use my power when the weak are about to become victims. Deli.
Huh, I see. You've developed quite a valiant way of thinking.
Silence! I have a great deal to think about. This is what my noble father would have done, that's all. Van Helsing lightly pats Deli on the shoulder as the boy looks down. Oh, that's cute. It's almost fatherly.
We appreciate your aid. Your words and how true they ring. I'll never forget them.
Van Helsing gives the vampire boy another look.
Thank you.
With that, he leaves the room.
He just said, thank you. I didn't know he had it in his vocabulary.
Deli looks towards Van Helsing's back in shock. Then he smiles bravely. Huh! I am the noble king of the Nosferatu people. The king must always speak the truth. Deli leaves the room next. Then Impy, Victor, and Saint Germain follow. I take in a small breath. This is likely to be our last battle. I feel it in my bones. Lupin turns to me, then extends his hand with a serious expression.
Mademoiselle Cardia, may I escort you to the path that leads you to your future?
I laugh at his dramatic delivery. It would be my pleasure, Monsieur Lupin. I gently take his hand, and our eyes meet. I feel like our hearts have connected, and now words are unnecessary. We travel through the middle-class district, with Lupin leading us. We're supposed to break into the cathedral while dodging fire from the gun turrets during the attack of the British troops. I go over our current situation and our mission a number of times in my head. Suddenly, Lupin stops and looks ahead of us up the street, as if in anticipation. There is an explosion in the distance, and the path ahead takes on a subtle scarlet tinge.
It started. It's a pitched battle. The unit fighting in the forefront is a diversion, and a separate unit will be entering the premises. The plan was to attack both inside and out, simultaneously, was it not? Right. I told them the best route to break in. The rest is up to Sholm's plan. I'm crossing my fingers that Finis hasn't gone and outplanned us. Crossed fingers won't do any good. Let's get in there before the confusion of battle dies down.
With this, Van Helsing begins running forward. We all nod to one another, then hurry onward to the cathedral. St. Paul's Cathedral is already surrounded by conflagration. The explosions and gunfire seem to be adding fuel to the flame started by last night's battle. We hold our breaths as we all run through the intense heat and smoke.
Almost there.
I hear fighting up ahead.
Whoa, this is getting pretty intense. Where are these men attacking us from? Look out! They're Twilight soldiers! Don't let your guard down or we'll all be killed!
I can hear the tense shouts of the soldiers. Lupin takes cover behind the collapsed wall to examine the situation. We all follow his example and join him in hiding.
This is looking like an uphill battle.
Saint Germain peeks over the wall and reports what he observes.
It seems like those who were supposed to breach the cathedral haven't gotten around to it yet. We have some problems of our own to deal with before we can get in. I propose a change of plans.
Everyone turns to him.
We enter from the front. That way we can reduce the number of enemies we face inside on our way in. That sounds like you want us to bulldoze our way in.
I nod in response. Lupin narrows his eyes slightly as he looks out into the battlefield ahead.
No, Van Helsing's idea is the most realistic. Even if we can sneak in there, there's no point if the Queen loses. So, that means we're going to be fighting too, huh? Roughhousing isn't Mr. Impy's favorite activity. If it's been decided, shall we go? We shouldn't waste any more time debating.
I nod to myself, then mentally prepare for the next moments. The battlefield is only a stone's throw away. Bullets and blades fly in the brutal fight. There are already piles of the fallen, both enemy and ally, everywhere. The enemy soldiers are here in great number, and Twilight forces are mixed in among them. The loyal troops seem to be at a disadvantage in terms of weapons, numbers, and fighting abilities.
The Queen's men are an inferior force, no matter how you look at it. There's no backing down. The fate of Britain rests on our shoulders. Fire! Fire!
The man shouting commands looks like the leader of a platoon. He encourages the intimidated soldiers under his command to somehow keep trying to push forward. However, a bullet rips through his chest, and he falls to the ground in a heap. We need to help him. Lupin grabs my arm as I try to run forward.
It's no use. He was killed instantly.
No, that's so horrible.
Every war is terrible.
Victor's expression is strained as he takes a test tube out of his coat. He throws the tube at a group of enemy soldiers that has been firing non-stop. The test tube breaks at their feet, and a cloud of smoke immediately forms, obscuring them from view.
What is this? It's a smoke screen! Watch out!
Van Helsing takes a step forward as the enemies recoil. But a small figure darts into the smoke before he can take another. As soon as the figure disappears into the smoke, I hear the sound of brutal hand-to-hand fighting. Once the smoke dissipates, I see a crowd of fallen soldiers. And Deli standing there confidently.
I'll take over here.
You
You have other things to do. Leave the trivial fights to me.
Deli turns to us and gives us the smallest smile.
Go. I hope you find a way to help with your poison.
Deli nods. Enemy soldiers begin to appear from all around, about to surround the Loyalist troops. However, Deli runs like a shell fired from a cannon, knocking down any foe he comes into contact with.
Is that kid on our side? Someone that powerful can only be a vampire. He's helping us, so I don't care. All of you, there's a kid doing our fighting out there. We can't let him show us up.
The other soldiers call out in agreement. At the same time, we begin to hear the sounds of fighting coming within St. Paul's.
It sounds like the other unit's gotten inside. All hope isn't lost yet. Yeah, now's our chance. Let's go.
Lupin starts sprinting towards the building. Thank you, Deli. I only catch a glimpse of him before I dash away. Deli, no, the Vampire King Delacroix II, slightly raises his hand in response to my shouted thanks. The battle within the cathedral is a continuation of the chaos outside. The soldiers who broke in are going head-to-head with the enemy forces who had been crammed inside. It looks like most of the enemies here are Twilight soldiers. Their quick movements and precise sword techniques take down the government soldiers one after another.
I figured as much, and Finis is nowhere to be seen.
Van Helsing sounds annoyed and cautiously looks around him. Of course, the enemies inside have no intention of letting us take our time, and begin to attack us as soon as they see us.
Whoa, close call!
Lupin, who is at the front, jumps back from a swing by a Twilight soldier just in time. Once Lupin retreats, Van Helsing strolls forward. Naturally, the enemies rush towards him. Look out! In the next instant, there is a loud roar, and the enemy soldiers are thrown to the ground where they lie motionless.
Look out. For what? Stop wasting your time worrying about me, and find the way below ground. Oh, I've already found it, actually. What? Seriously? The wall to the far west. And there's something strange about it. It's most likely a hidden door over there.
Lupin points to the far end of the cathedral.
Can you tell?
Not at all, but if Lupin says so, he's probably right.
Let's head that way then.
We move forward through the fierce fighting. We duck flying bullets, and Van Helsing, Victor, and Saint Germain take down all the enemies that come our way.
Ooh-wee! We'll never have enough lives for this mess.
A Twilight soldier appears in front of Impy, striking at him with his sword. But before he hits, Saint Germain pierces his sword through the man's shoulder.
Thanks a million, Sainty G. I can always count on you. Don't worry. Your protection comes second only to hers.
What, is Impy Saint Germain's favorite amongst the guys here?
Second? Sainty G, do you hate me?
I would say that's a good thing, being second. The enemies start to focus on us, coming at us in huge waves.
Having them follow our every move would be annoying. This might be a good time to shut them down. Victor, Count, help me.
You got it.
I suppose I can't refuse someone who relies on me. I shall do my best. Lupin, you go ahead and get that hidden door open. Huh? Hey, Van Helsing, what about me? Don't you need Mr. Impy's help? No, you're in the way already. Rude!
While they snipe back and forth, Lupin lifts me into his arms.
Our team is so reliable. Well, I'm counting on you all.
Lupin...
It's fine. This will be less hassle.
Not a single one of the enemies notices us as Lupin starts running. He finds blind spots in the enemy's vision and slips through their lines without any of them catching on. He moves almost like magic. And then, we're at the wall on the far side before we know it. Everyone else is still behind us. Lupin, the others aren't here yet.
I wouldn't worry about them. They'll catch up on their own. More importantly...
Lupin pauses, then hunkers down and starts feeling around on the floor. It takes only a few moments.
Found it! This is the way to the hidden underground section of the cathedral.
As Lupin says this, I see a square hole open right by his feet, with stairs leading downwards.
Time for this show to reach its climax. May I have your hand, my lady?
Lupin extends his hand to me as he asks. Once the others have all caught up, we start descending the long, dark staircase.
St. Paul's Cathedral has always had an underground vault.
Saint Germain narrates our trip, while our footsteps echo down the stairway.
It was originally intended for use as a crypt, and only special heroes who did a great service to Britain were placed here.
Are we heading to that crypt right now?
No, gauging how far we've gone down, we're probably even further below ground than that.
Come to think of it, I can no longer hear the sounds of fighting from above. It's very quiet here, and eerie.
I thought I'd come to know everything about London, but I guess I was unaware that this cathedral had any such facility beneath it.
Saint Germain sounds impressed, and his voice echoes around us. Ahead of us lies Father's secret. We finally reach the bottom of the long staircase. We discover a dimly lit path that looks exactly the same as the one we walked through in Father's underground laboratory. We walk a few paces down the seemingly endless path.
Oh, you're already here. I hadn't expected you to be here so soon.
He appears as if melting out of the darkness. None of us can hide our shock or distress from seeing immortality step out in front of us.
You're immortal, I see. I still can't believe it, even though the proof is standing right in front of me. Ha! That's only natural. For humans like you die once and that's it. You don't get to come back. From the way you say it, I take it that you aren't human then. Do you find that so hard to believe? I have a monster for a sister. It stands to reason that I would be a monster as well.
He chuckles to himself, then without losing his composure, he makes a motion like he is contemplating something.
A civil war is raging above ground, and it seems that the nearby stations have already caught on to the troubles within Britain. If this insurrection takes any longer to subdue, it can only lead to war. Are you sure you want to waste your time here? Huh, not to worry. We have a pretty headstrong queen on our side. I'm sure she'll be able to put down this ridiculous rebellion in no time. And the Civil War? Oh, I see. You don't understand.
Huh?
Explain yourself. There's no need for further discussion. We'll shut down the root of all his evil right here.
Van Helsing speaks coldly to Finis, who still seems to be in a good mood through all of this.
Finis, you are the leader of the rebel forces. Are you prepared to meet your fate? Do what you will. You don't have to sugarcoat your words, you know. You resent me, and you want to kill me. Just come right out and say it.
Before we can stop him, Van Helsing pulls the trigger. There is a gunshot and a thick spray of blood. Finis's body is thrown back, flying through the air. The corpse rolls away into the darkness. He shot him at close range, with actual buckshot. It's obvious what the result would be. But, on the other hand, I have an extremely irrational surety. There is no way Finis would die. For some reason, I firmly believe in this impossibility. I'm certain of it. Then, as if to prove my conviction right,
Now, are you satisfied?
he appears in front of us again.
What? You are completely unharmed. It's quite an extraordinary thing to witness immortality with your own eyes. Oh, you're one to talk, Saint Germain.
Saint Germain seems detached as he makes this observation, but Van Helsing calmly levels his gun at Finis again.
Oh, don't waste your bullets.
With another series of shots, Finis crumples pathetically to the floor, but... Finis's laughter fills the room, and he steps out from beyond the darkness yet again. And this time, there are two of him. Didn't I say I suspected clones before?
What?
Even Van Helsing is compelled to lower his gun with wide eyes. Then, following suit, multiple Finises appear from the surrounding darkness. Before we know it, we're surrounded by several exact copies of Finis.
Huh? Did I fall asleep or something? There's so many of him. If you did, then this is definitely a nightmare. So, this is the trick behind your so-called immortality.
In response to Van Helsing's whispered accusation, the central Finis smiles a beautiful, yet haunting smile.
It's not something to be so shocked about. As I said earlier, my sister is a monster. Naturally, I myself am one too.
Of all the figures around us, this one Finis seems to be speaking to us as a representative.
Although, I will say, I'm not a homunculus. Sister and I are fundamentally different, depending on which of us has a horologium.
He looks coldly at me as he says this. But I also feel him staring at me with murder in his eyes. He carefully takes his glass-like eyes off me as he begins walking back into the darkness.
Father's secret. That's what you came here to find out, right, sister? Come with me and be ready to risk your life.
He stops only once, then turns to me with an angelic smile.
I'll show you the truth. And together, let us become a part of Father, part of the newly born God.
Finis calmly melts away into the darkness, and Van Helsing immediately tries to follow.
Wait.
But a group of Finises attacks us all at once, as if to block us. Shooting gallery time.
Whoa, hey! The egress has been cut off as well, if things have come to this.
Saint Germain grabs one of the attacking Finises and easily tears him apart. He then quietly looks over at Lupin and me.
Please move on, you two. We'll take care of this. Wow, tears him apart, that is ruthless. Huh? Wait, she needs an escort? Then I'll... Impy, keep your eyes on the enemy. There's one in front of you. Combat is not one of Master Lupin's fortes, and if we are placing her success above all else, he's a reasonable choice. Any objections? None. I owe you guys.
We leave them behind as Lupin grabs my hand and begins running at full speed. We continue to push forward into the darkness. The path seems to go on forever, filled with a dark, oppressive silence that would make anyone feel alone and uneasy. But right now, Lupin has my hand. Lupin, who loves me for who I am. That's why, no matter what lies beyond the darkness, I feel like I'll still be alright. Soon, I see a faint light ahead. That must be the place where the secret to Father's plan, Code Realize, must lie. Father's secret, my secret, will be uncovered. Then, we follow the faint light into a new space. There is a vast expanse, so large that it's hard to believe it could be underground. A huge machine, about 10 meters in diameter, is perched in the center. I see some strange objects all throughout the room. These objects, a countless number of small metallic discs, weave a complex, slow dance along the walls and the floor.
Whoa! What is this? Some sort of massive celestial globe.
It's all a huge machine, in which each part moves slowly, according to some rule. The parts move slowly but steadily, almost like the ever-changing patterns in the sky. This is Father's secret?
Not quite.
Finis.
This machine is Father himself, and also me, myself.
I don't understand. What do you mean?
Stop being so cryptic. Weren't you going to tell her the truth? Ah, that's right. Don't be so impatient. I will keep my promise. Now I'll show you. This is the reality of me, Finis.
He suddenly pulls out a pistol, and he points it. What? At his own temple. Then he fires without hesitation. What did you... I can't help but ask, even though I know that I won't get a response. Lupin and I stare down upon Finis, who has now become an unmoving corpse, but then...
It was just a little performance of sorts. You seem none too pleased by it.
I hear a voice. Finis. The voice doesn't come from the body on the floor, but echoes through the entire room.
Don't be so alarmed. I'm right in front of you.
What? Could it be... Finis?
That's right. The Finis you're used to seeing out there is merely a biological terminal, a puppet. This is my true form, my main body. Even if one of my terminals breaks, I simply have to prepare another. There are an infinite number of replacements. That is why I am immortal. Isn't it funny that Van Helsing was going around so desperately, doing nothing but breaking worthless dolls?
The real Finis is a machine.
Does it matter if I'm a machine or not? You're simply a doll yourself, you know. And this body is me, but at the same time it is our respected father as well.
Father. For a second, I don't know what he's saying.
My existence serves basically as a memory device to store Father's mind. Store his mind? Yes, this body contains the mind of this century's greatest genius, Isaac Beckford. It is filled with so much knowledge. And this vessel itself is Code Realize, the key to the creation of a new god.
A new god. I'd heard those words from Phineas's mouth many times by now. But the more he tells me about it, the more surreal it all seems. There's no way that a man could create God. I think that anyone would feel the same way I do. However, Phineas only laughs, saying that this is a given.
Any ordinary person would think that way, but Father can do it. Didn't I tell you? We are all cogs in Father's grand machine. I am his mechanical vessel, with an intellect far more advanced than any humans. And the horologium, symbol of immortality and perpetual engine of life, will power it. What do you think if Father's mind and his spirit can obtain these things? A body that will never decay, and an infinite capability of thought. It would bend the world as we know it to his will. What else could you call something like that besides God? Father is literally trying to become a deus ex machina.
The doll that had been lying on the ground slowly stands up as the voice speaks. It shakes as it cocks its head from one side to another with a blank expression. That's creepy. Just as Phineas said, it's like a puppet being controlled by strings.
So, come with me, sister, to realize Father's dreams.
And with that invitation, we're going to end this video. I hope to see you in my future videos, and I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye-bye, everybody.